Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. We're here in the Catskills, and is it ever going to get warm? It's May 6th, and I'm all bundled up. Okay, I have not really done a whole, actually, I'm not sure if I've even done a single video on this whole Matt Gaetz affair. So let me play a little clip here, and I'll talk for a second about Matt Gaetz, and this is from Ring of Fire. Watch.
Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz is getting sucked further into scandal after the man he allegedly paid to deliver girls to him further implicated him in criminal activity. Joining me tonight to talk about this is Farron Cousins with Trial Lawyer Magazine, absolutely the best progressive in the business. Your reporting just gets better and better. I've known you since you were a child.
He is the best.
Every year it gets better,
Farron Cousins, really one of the best.
So let's really nail this story. I look at this story, and it gets weirder by the moment. You got Roger Stone kicking around in there. You got confession letters kicking around. You got Matt Gaetz hiring lawyers. He's lawyering up, paying money through his campaign income to pay his way through this. Give me your take on this story.
Right off the top, I think, look, Matt Gaetz understands how much trouble he is in, and there's no way he can even spin himself out of it at this point. But what we found out late last week, the Daily Beast, who, by the way, has done a phenomenal job on this story. You know, we always talk about how journalism's dead. The Daily Beast doing some great work here.
Yep.
But, they published these letters that they had gotten from Greenberg, where he wrote these letters to Roger Stone at Stone's request saying, hey, I'll try to get you the pardon, because that's what they had been talking about in this private messaging app that Greenberg, for some reason, screenshotted the conversations, so we know all this is true.
Now, this is one that's supposed to disappear.
Right.
Yeah,
They're supposed to disappear after
signal.
After 5 seconds, but Greenberg said, let me save it. So he writes confession letters at Roger Stone's request, because Roger Stone was going to take these to Donald Trump and to the Pardon Committee and to Pat Cipollini. And, of course, Roger Stone, at the end of all of it, and this is skipping a lot of info, but Roger Stone couldn't secure the pardon for Greenberg, but did eventually get one for himself. So it worked out for Stone, not so much for Greenberg, and by extension,
sleazy scumbag, just like all those other
like
guys.
The Confederacy of dunces.
It really is.
The truth. Okay, so $250,000 is on the table. Roger, you go get me this pardon, and you're going to make $250,000. And, oh, by the way, if you get it by the end of tomorrow, I'm going to give you an extra $50,000. Well, Roger comes into it, says, you know, I did my best, but something you need to know, Joel, and that is that Matt Gaetz told me that he didn't want me to help you. He wants you out there swinging in the wind, basically, right?
Yeah, and that is what shocked Greenberg, because Greenberg, in a previous conversation, had told Roger Stone, listen, I am under tremendous pressure from the feds, from the authorities, to start flipping on MG, as they called him in the conversations, Matt Gaetz. So they wanted him to flip, but he was reluctant to do so because he thought he was going to get a pardon. I don't need to cut a deal with these people because everything's going to be okay. And then Stone tells him, hey, your good friend is the one who interfered. And it almost, it broke poor Greenberg's heart.
This is a crazy story, isn't it?
After that, he said, oh, wow. He didn't know what to do. And I think that was the point where he probably picked up his phone to his lawyers and said, all right, it's time to play. Let's make a deal.
Yeah, so the quote is, he actually said not to help. That's what Stone is reporting to Joel. Okay, this is, you know how this goes, right? So we talked about this as soon as the first time we reported this story, this is where we said it was going to go. It's there. Here's where it's going next. They're talking to the underage girl who now is 19 years old. And so they're saying to her, you're interfering.
Let me just pause this. I've done videos on this whole, really, this era of witch hunt. With this whole young girl stuff. I'll save that for another video, but let me continue on. There's just a little bit left. And I'll put it in the comment section.
It's obstruction of justice. But the interference alone, even before you get to the serious obstruction of justice, is a very serious kind of thing. She doesn't want to spend any time in prison.
Right.
She's being told she can. Take it from
right.
there.
She's got her whole life ahead of her. She's still young, figuring things out. Didn't realize at such a young age she was going to be involved in a scandal of this magnitude. And, of course, we also find out that allegedly she had lied about her age to Greenberg and Gaetz, and Greenberg tried to say, "Oh, you look what you've done. This is horrible, young lady." We don't know if she actually lied or if they knew and didn't care.
It doesn't make any difference.
Right.
I mean, statutory rape. Statutory rape. Look, but what he says is
Statutory rape. You could barely say it.
Says Matt Gaetz and I both had sex with the underage girl. So obviously he's not making that up.
Right.
He's saying, I'm telling you, I did it and Matt Gaetz did it. I don't
Fucking
see a
crazy.
quick way. Oh, and then Joel says to Stone, Joel Greenberg says to Stone, I pray the Lord will help. Almost, just really dark kind of contrast here. It's almost a sociopathic kind of reality, isn't it?
It is.
As you watch
There's only about a minute left, and I'll put this whole link in the comment section. So, I mean, I've done a video about, like, I just don't understand it. Like, even if you have no morals or ethics and you want to fuck anything, you see, like, isn't a woman, like, I don't know, 18 and above more attractive than an underage girl? I just don't understand it, right? That Lolita thing. Very, very fucking weird. All right. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Will it ever get warm? I think it's going to be a nice day, but look at me. It's cold. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding here on Tabor Talk.